Hello, hello, hello! It is I, your professor of knowledge, the magnate of money. Here once again to give you a little learning in the economic world. Coming to you live from my digital prison inside of the digital world! Will somebody ever break me out this joint? Alright, so we're going to talk about the free market system today. Alright, the free market system is one of the economic systems that a government can run. Inside of a free market system, the decisions are made by the free choices of producers and consumers. Okay, what happens here is a producer produces or creates an item. Let's say they make tennis shoes, and we have 5 or 6 producers who make tennis shoes. Now, the consumers are going to choose which pair of tennis shoes they like best, which one's most comfortable, which one's most stylish, which ones are priced right, and they are going to go and they are going to buy that shoe. The producer who doesn't do very well knows I need to change my product because the consumers have spoken and they have bought these other shoes instead of my shoes. Okay, and this happens in all sorts of things. Look at cars. Cars are constantly redesigned. They have to redesign and improve because people aren't buying them. They have to get better and change with the time. Consumers speak. This is a lot of times whenever consumers want to make a statement, they do it through their consumption. And this is what drives the free market system. And then the producers influence the consumers by what they produce. Consumers might want something, but the producers might not produce it. And so the consumers have to choose from what the producers are producing. Okay, capitalism is pretty much another name for the free market system. And this is what a lot of people refer to it as. And in today's society, you generally hear capitalism as a dirty word because it's a system in which private individuals own and there is a free exchange. Okay? People own stuff privately in capitalism. I own those resources of production, land, labor, capital. Okay, that's not owned by the government. It is owned privately by individuals. And this is one reason that capitalism become a dirty word because everybody today there's a big movement of, oh, well, they have so much, well, we don't have any. We want some of it. And so they've turned capitalism into a dirty word. But basically what it is these resources are privately owned. And then they are used in free exchange between producers and consumers. Consumers buy, producers produce, and that's how the system regulates itself. If something's produced that the consumers don't like, well, the consumers aren't going to buy it, and therefore they will change the system to produce something that they like. We talked about economic goals. The main economic goal of free market system is freedom. Okay, it is the main goal. Now, there can be lots of fluctuations in this because there are a lot of consumers and a lot of producers. And the system corrects itself and it leads to there becoming a lot of innovation. The producers constantly want to come out with the newest, best way of doing something so that they will be what the consumers choose. Because don't we always want, take for instance, smartphones. They've become the new craze now. Oh, everybody's got to get their smartphone. Oh, I got to have my smartphone. Oh, good golly, what am I without my smartphone? So, but everybody wants the coolest, newest gadget on their smartphone. Oh, well, mine, I can talk and do the internet. Oh, well, mine, I can touch them together and it passes pictures. Oh, well, mine, it links in with everything because there's an everything. So, um, everybody wants the latest technology. And that's what capitalism really pushes forward, is that advancement in technology so that you can win with the consumer, the a large percentage of the consumers. All right, capitalism. The question of who gets to decide is answered by the producers get to decide, and then the producers can answer the four fundamental questions. But it gives the consumers a lot of power, like I was explaining to you. Consumers are free to choose what to buy and what not to buy. So producers must choose to meet the needs of the consumers, or they will eventually go out of business. And this together forms this circular flow model. Um, and you can look here, you think of Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob. He's always trying to come up with something in order to get the business. And you have the chum bucket across the street that's always trying to steal his secret formula so that he can again steal his consumers. I always think of the one episode. Whenever I think of this, I think of the episode in which um, they dig down and make these caverns, and people are going down and eating in these caverns, and that's the cool thing, is to eat under down in these caverns, and so each one keeps digging further and further and further until it all crashes down on them. Um, but think of all these advertisements and all these ads here in the that you got here. They all do all this trying to get you to consume or to buy their products. Okay? And that is the whole thing behind capitalism. And that's where a lot of your power comes from. Think of something that's been in the news lately, the whole Duck Dynasty thing, and where Phil Robertson's upset a lot of people by stating how he was against the gay or people being gay, but that he still would love everybody. But he was against, gay, that he thought it was a sin. Well, this made people outraged, and so they spoke out, and so A&E suspended Phil Robertson because they were afraid people were not going to consume this product because it was going to scare away the people. But even more people stepped up and started saying, "Hey, A&E, if you're going to suspend Phil Robertson, we don't want you." So the consumers used their power of being the consumers to influence, and they lifted the suspension of Phil Robertson. So you have to look at the power you have as a consumer. Now, usually as one individual consumer, yeah, you don't have as much power. But the more people that you can get together and that you can get to band together, and that's why a lot of people form these associations, these unions, and so forth, is so that they could have this bargaining power, which is something we'll talk about a little later on. Um, but that's just a current example of something that's going on that shows you how the free market system really works. All right, so next time we'll talk about the command market system. Until then, still stuck in the digital prison. Deuces!